to be telling everyone about this this is the ultimate blessing that any human being on earth can get. In fact, regular sessions are now even being carried out in the Supreme Court of India, in the Delhi High Court, Mumbai High Court, various other places. And as far as the other fields are concerned, about colleges, schools, and even other corporates in the defense, army, navy, air force, regular sessions are being carried out. The reason why this is happening is because people have benefited out of it. So people have extremely benefited. They have been benefited out of it. And that is why today, that's the session which has been organized for all the participants. We'll request to of course, I'll just give you a brief overview on how the session is going to go about. So we will be having first the theory part, which will be about 10 minutes, 10 to maximum 15 minutes. Thereafter, we will be moving forward towards the practical session on how to achieve this. And in the end, the practical session will also be for about 5 to 6 minutes. And thereafter, we will be moving towards the question answers and how we can do this on a regular basis at home. So these are the three broad categories that we will be going forward today with. And I'll just 1 second, ma'am. Just 1 second. Yeah, so sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so today we'll be moving forward on this beautiful journey of knowing our own self. So this is a journey where we are not going to know anything about, we are at a stage today where there is so much of technology. There is technology is only improving day by day, and our brains have become so modernized. But everything that we are perceiving as of today is based on the external movements of people, of everything that we are noticing, of the whole world, how the world is changing, everything that is external. Have we ever thought about ourselves? Because we also have this subtle energy system within us, and how we are getting into this problem, how are we damaging our subtle energy system? So we will be initially targeting directly our subtle energy system. How are we damaging this? How is this getting damaged? And how can we cure this? Through a very, very natural and spontaneous technique, which is already inbuilt within us. So there is no magic going to happen from outside. This natural, spontaneous technique, which is inbuilt within us, is going to cure us. So we'll be learning about that. So without any further delay, we'll directly move towards today's session, and we welcome all the participants who are present here. The next 1 hour is going to be extremely important for all of us, because this is also called as the second birth. Sahaja Yoga, of course, is also as the second birth. So we'll request all participants to please be very attentive. And of course, at the end of the session, we'll be taking doubts, as I mentioned before. And you can also invite your family members if you're attending the session from your home. So we'll request if the participants are also can invite their family members, and they can also receive this greatest blessing by the grace of the divine power, which is already residing within them. All right. So when we hear this term Sahaja Yoga, the first thing that we would want to know is what exactly is Sahaja Yoga. So Sahaj means very, very simple. Sahaj means extremely simple, something that is spontaneous. And yoga means connection of our spirit with the divine power. So normally what happens is that we feel that yoga might be some sort of an exercise, or we have to probably do some pranayams or some kind of external exercises. But if we look up the real meaning of yoga, even a normal Google search will give us the real meaning of yoga. Even if you go on this website, Ayush Ministry website, and even other government websites where they explain the real meaning of yoga. So yoga actually is our union with the divine power. So yoga means the union of our spirit with the divine power. And spirit is the reality. It is the reality that we are. Because, many times we might have heard this sentence also, that we are not this mind, we are not this body, we are not these emotions, we are not this intellect, or we are also not this what you say, we are not this ego. We are not this ego also. So what are we? We are just the pure spirit. But so far, it has only been a mental projection. And one cannot go very far with mental projections because there is a limit to mental projections. There is a limit where these mental projections finish, and then there is nothing beyond that. But the transformation, that the fact that we are just a pure spirit, it has to be experienced within ourselves. So that is what we're going to also be doing through the practical session that will be taking place after 10 to 15 minutes. So we can see in front of us, there is this chart. We can see on our screens. We can see there is this chart. I mean, there is the human subtle system. The diagram that we can see in front of us is that of the human subtle system. I'll quickly take you through exactly what is there in this human subtle system, because of which any problems that we are facing, how are they coming into the subtle system? So we'll quickly go through that. So like we can see the human subtle system, in the center, there are 3 channels. There is the left channel, there is the right channel, and there is the center channel. It is also demarcated. If we look closely, it is also demarcated. The right channel is the channel which is yellow in color. The left channel is the channel which is blue in color. And the center channel is the one which is white in color, the center one. Now, these 3 channels are within the spinal cord. So within the spinal cord, we have these 3 channels. The center one is also in medical science is called as the parasympathetic nervous system. So it is called as the parasympathetic nervous system. And now in the center channel, you can also see that there are 7 chakras. We can see there are 7 chakras, starting from the first one, which is at the base of the spinal cord, then going upwards, if we count, there are total 7 of them. Now, each of these chakras in Hindi, it is chakras. If we have to know the English terminology, it is the subtle energy centers. So whether we say chakras or we say energy centers, no difference at all. It means the same thing. So now if we see these 3 channels in these centers, now what happens is, now if a person is facing any problem in his life, his or her life, whether it be connected to some emotional stability, whether it be connected to stress, whether it be connected to anxiety, some kind of emotional disturbance, mental problem, psychological problem, even physical medical problems, everything has its connection to these 7 energy centers. How does it have its connection? Its connection is because any problem anyone is facing, it is due to the imbalance which has come into one of these 7 energy centers, because of which the problem is being faced. Now, for example, if there is someone who is probably having a problem with the kidneys, spleen, or the pancreas. So any of these organs is controlled by the second energy center, which is called as the Swadhisthana chakra, which you can also see the names. You can see an overview in the second diagram, which is on the left-hand side, the names of various energy centers. Now, the Swadhisthana chakra controls the kidney, the pancreas, the spleen, and the liver. So if somebody wants to rectify these organs, all they have to do is, if their Swadhisthana chakra gets improved, gets nourished, gets purified, automatically it's going to have an impact on these organs. In the same way, this was just one example that was given. So in the same way, there are various, now for example, if we take the Vishuddhi chakra, which is the center, which is our throat, also the throat chakra. Now this controls all the ENT. The entire ENT, the eyes, nose, throat, is controlled by this Vishuddhi chakra. So if anybody is facing a problem in any, in the whether it is the eyes, nose, throat, so if their Vishuddhi chakra gets purified, it gets nourished, then automatically these corresponding problems are going to get cured. And the beauty of this is that it gets cured from the roots. These chakras can get cured from the roots. But the question that one, after listening to this, the question that comes to us is, how does it get cured through roots? So this happens only and only by the awakening of the Kundalini. So this Kundalini is nothing else but the divine power inside every human being. So whether we are Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, or even if we are atheists, even then, whether we are from India, America, any other country, every human being has this Kundalini inside him or her. Now, what is this Kundalini? It is the divine power, and it is in the sacrum bone. We can all see at the base of the on our screens, in the human subtle system, at the base of the spinal cord, there is a triangular bone. Now, this triangular bone in medical terminology is called as the sacrum bone. The term sacrum has come from the word sacred, because it is the sacred bone. And why it is the sacred bone is because this has the mother Kundalini inside it. So mother Kundalini is the divine power inside every human being. And this is why is it called Kundal? Because Kundal, if you go, it's a Sanskrit term, but if you go to, if we look into the meaning, Kundal is a spiral. So this Kundalini is also in spiral form. It's in 3.5 coils. So this 3.5 coils is in spiral form. And it has many, many threads. If we wish to calculate, it has 21 raised to power 108 threads. So these many number of threads are present in every human being's Kundalini, which is 3.5 coils. So when this Kundalini gets awakened, the property of this Kundalini, which is the divine power inside us, is this, that it cures the person. It is it as a byproduct. It's a spontaneous property the moment this gets awakened as a byproduct, automatically, spontaneously, a person starts getting cured. Because when this rises, it cures each and every chakra and then goes and settles and then goes to the top of the head. So in this process, when it is rising, since this is the divine power, it's the mother Kundalini. The mother Kundalini is, you can imagine when it is also, why is it called the second birth? Because of course the first birth was when we came on this earth, but the second birth is this awakening of this Kundalini. So if this is a second birth, it's the greatest thing that can happen to any human being. And when this rises, it goes to the center of the head. A person also feels the awakening of this on your hands and on the top of your head. One feels this as a cool or a warm breeze flowing from the palms and also from the top of the head. So this is like a proof that one can get on their hands and also on the top of their head. So we will also now look into the left channel and the right channel. Now, the left channel, medical terminology, is the left sympathetic nervous system, and the right channel is also called as the right sympathetic nervous system. Of course, the center one is the parasympathetic nervous system. So right now we'll use easy terms and we'll refer to them as right channel, left channel, and center channel. So that will be easier for everyone to understand right now. So we'll be referring to these terms itself: left channel, right channel, and center channel. So now what happens is that normally if a person is facing, now supposing if a person, let's take the left channel first. If supposing now how does a person, what are the various attributes of the left channel? Now, for example, if a person is attributes in the sense, not how does the left channel get weak? We are going to look into the areas how it is getting damaged. So first we will see how it is getting damaged, and then we will see how to cure it. So now left side is getting, now supposing if there's a person who's always in the past, is always feeling lethargic, is an over emotional person, very emotional, gets depressed very easily, and likes to be alone most of the time, and is all the time thinking about the past, that means that his left channel has got weak. So left channel has got weak. These are the attributes that if a person is going always in the past, lethargic, over emotional, that means left channel has got weak. Now, just the opposite of this is the right channel. Now, how does the right channel get weak? Now, what are the various attributes that the right channel is weak? The things are that, supposing if someone is always very futuristic, always thinks about the future, always planning, thinking, is overactive, is an extremely overactive person, a workaholic, an extreme workaholic person, much more than required, and gets angry very soon, is a very dominating person. So that means his right channel has gone into imbalance, or in other words, it's become weak. So and normally one can see that normally people whose right channel is weak are people who face problems like BP and diabetes. So there's absolutely nothing to worry about. The moment this right channel comes into balance, all the problems connected to which are caused due to the imbalance of right channel, automatically these problems get solved. Automatically it gets solved. So what is it that we should desire? So our desire is neither we should be in the left channel nor the right channel. We should be in the center channel, because center channel is the channel of balance. If somebody comes into the center channel, that means he is in a state of balance. So now, how does one come into the state of balance? That is through the awakening, just now, like how we understood, that is through the awakening of the Kundalini. Now, the question is, how does this Kundalini inside a person get awakened? Because what used to happen was that so many years back, I mean, before 5th of May 1970, people used to sit on mountains, keep meditating for years together, but still their Kundalini would not rise. But after 5th of May 1970, it now rises within a second. It's just that the person needs to have a pure desire. That's all that's needed. And this why did it happen after 5th of May? Because on 5th of May 1970, the greatest happening took place, and that was the it was the it changed. It became a history in the evolution of mankind. It also became like a history in the evolution of spirituality, in the history of evolution also. So what happened was, it was a breakthrough. It was a breakthrough in the history of evolution, in the history of spirituality. So what happened was that the 7th chakra was opened. Now, the 7th chakra, which is called as the Sahasrara chakra, is the one which is at the center of our head. The center of our head, which is the fontanelle bone area. In Hindi, it's called as the talu also. So the fontanelle bone area, which is the center of our head, there we have the 7th chakra, 7th energy center, called as the Sahasrara chakra, and that was opened by Her Holiness Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi, whose photograph you can see on the screen. And so Sri Mataji opened this chakra for the whole of humanity on 5th May 1970, and after which only it was possible that any human being's Kundalini would get awakened, and this entire process of self-realization could take place, which happens now within a second. That is why also you must have heard that 5th May is called as the World Sahasrara Day. So this is the reason behind it, why it is called as the World Sahasrara Day. And so now let us now jump into the practical session, because there is all the time, it's something like we might know, somebody might tell us, supposing if there's a child who has never seen a tree, he will have ideas about a tree, but the moment the child is shown the tree, he will have the perfect picture of what a tree looks like. In the same way, right now, we we are just, whatever we are listening to right now is all becoming a mental projection. So the main thing is we should ourselves experience this so that we ourselves know, we can ourselves, have this greatest blessing, and we can ourselves know. We will be our own masters then. We will not have to know from someone else. We can ourselves tell what was our experience. So for that, we will move directly towards the practical session. So the practical session, which is the self-realization. So now why do we do the self-realization is because we do not want to have any kind of mental projection. Or supposing somebody says that, stress, there are so many books available in the market today, which say that, okay, stress can be removed through various techniques. What happens is we might read one book, we might read another book. There's so many motivational books also. So we might read one book, second book, third book, but why is it that our search does not end? We always go and we are always on the lookout for something more. Why is that something more always cropping up in our brain? Why is it not, the search is not ending? Because we have not achieved the ultimate thing. The moment a person achieves the ultimate thing in his life corresponding to a particular problem, the search ends. And that is what you are going to receive today. And that is what is self-realization, because self-realization is not a mental projection. It is transformation from the roots. And this transformation from the roots is a spontaneous happening. We cannot control it from our brain. So we don't have to do any kind of concentration exercise. In fact, that is very, very harmful. Anywhere you have heard anyone saying that concentrate from your brain, it is damaging your Agya Chakra. Remember this. Anywhere you hear that, okay, concentrate from your brain on a particular thing, that means they are damaging your Agya Chakra. So never do that. In fact, any kind of such, we are nothing. We have just like, sunlight is a spontaneous gift to divine power. In the same way, the transformation that happens is a spontaneous gift of the divine power. We cannot control it from our brain, from nothing. We cannot control it. So that is why we are going to go and achieve the ultimate gift right now. So which is given to us only by the grace of the divine power. And of course, your pure desire has to be there. So your pure desire has to be there. Only then, things are going to work out. So before moving towards the practical session, there are just 3 steps that we need to do. And we will quickly see what these 3 steps are. So we are going to see this right now, these 3 steps, and I'll explain to you all these 3 steps, what these are. But during the session, during the real session, practical session, when we begin the 3 steps, we must make sure that we are, firstly, we should make sure that we are seated very comfortably. And second thing that we should make sure is that either we can be seated on the ground, on the Mother Earth. That is excellent if we can sit on the ground. But if not possible, then we can also sit on the chair. And if you're sitting on the chair, then we can keep both our feet on the Mother Earth. Because this Mother Earth, which has the gravitational pull in it, it acts as the earthing element. So what happens is that the central channel, the parasympathetic nervous system, the central channel, it has nerve endings on our hands as well as on our feet. So all these chakras which are there on our spinal cord, they are also there on our hands. All 7 chakras are also there on our hands, and they are also there on our feet. So when we place our feet directly on the Mother Earth, on the ground, the gravitational pull of the Mother Earth absorbs all that is unwanted, all that is anti-nature, all that is all the imbalances, all the problems. It absorbs through the sole of our feet. That is why it is better if we can keep our feet, we can remove the footwear, keep the feet directly on the Mother Earth. And of course, if you're attending the session from our workplace and it's not possible, so no problem. We can keep the footwear on, no problem. Okay, so these 3 steps that we are going to see right now. The first step that we can see in front of our screen, all 3 steps are very simple, extremely simple. So during all the 3 steps, the left hand, the left channel is the channel of desire. So the left hand is going to be on our lap all the time. You can also see on the screen, left hand on the lap throughout the 3 steps. Palm will be open, all fingers open. We do not have to close any 1 or 2 particular fingers, nothing of the kind. Palm open, all fingers open, and palm on the lap. Left palm on the lap, palm open. And now for the first step, we will keep the right hand on the heart. Okay, very simple step. Left hand on the lap, palm open of the left hand. Right hand palm on the heart. In the heart resides the spirit. So right hand on the heart. The second step, we will be keeping our left hand again same on the lap. Right hand, we will be placing it on the forehead. So right hand, we will be placing on the forehead. And for the third step, we will be keeping our right hand on the lap. Sorry, our left hand on the lap, and right hand we will be keeping on the center. The center of our palm will be on the center of our head. And we will rotate the palm clockwise so that the scalp also moves clockwise. So I'll just repeat the third step once again. Left hand on the lap, right hand palm, place it on center of palm on the center of head. Press the head slightly and rotate the hand clockwise. Automatically, the scalp is also going to move clockwise. So these are the 3 very, very simple steps. And now we will be doing these 3 steps, and we will be doing it with our eyes closed so that our attention is not disturbed. We can keep our mobile phones also on silent mode. And please be very comfortably seated. It's not going to take more than 3 to 4 minutes maximum. All right. So we'll begin with the practical part now. So we request all participants to please close their eyes. Their attention should not get disturbed. Please close your eyes. And now for the first step, we will be keeping our left hand on the lap and right hand on the heart. So during all the 3 steps, we will be saying small affirmations in our heart. The divine power inside us is also our Mother Kundalini, is the Divine Mother. So we will say, "O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit." Left hand on the lap, right hand on the heart. We'll keep the eyes closed. And from our heart, we have to say, "O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit." We can say Divine Mother, we can say Mother Kundalini, or we can say Shri Mataji, whatever we want to say. "O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit." We have to say with full confidence within ourselves, "O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit. I am not this mind, not these emotions, not this body, not this ego, not this intellect, not these conditionings, but I am just the pure spirit." हम पूरे विश्वास के साथ कहेंगे, "हे परमात्मा, मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ। हे परमात्मा, मैं सिर्फ एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ। O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit. O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit. We will now do the second step. So for the second step, we will keep our left hand on the lap like before, and right hand, we will place it on the forehead. We will place the right hand on the forehead and press the forehead slightly. Right hand को माथे पे रखेंगे. And now we will say from our heart, O Mother Kundalini, I forgive everyone today. O Mother Kundalini, I forgive everyone today. O Divine Mother, I forgive everyone today. As it is, we know whether we forgive or we don't forgive, we don't do anything. But if we don't forgive, then we are troubling ourselves only. The person who might have, any person who we feel we are not able to forgive is living their life the way they are living. But by not forgiving them, we are torturing ourselves. So today we have to forgive everyone from our heart. It will become very easy for the Mother Kundalini to rise. And the person is blessed much more the moment he's able to forgive. So from our heart, we have to say this once more. O Mother Kundalini, O Divine Mother, I forgive everyone today from my heart. I forgive myself also for any mistakes committed by me. We will say one more affirmation. Hand will remain on the forehead itself like before, right hand. And we will say one more affirmation. O Divine Mother, I am not guilty for anything. If we are the pure spirit, we cannot make any mistake. The pure spirit cannot make any mistake. So from our heart, we have to say today, O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit. I am not guilty for anything. O Divine Mother, I am just the pure spirit. I am not guilty for anything. O Divine Mother, I forgive everyone today from my heart. I forgive everyone today from my heart. I also forgive myself for any mistakes made by me. We will now go towards the third step. This is the last step. Left hand on the lap like before. Right hand palm, we have to place it on the center of our head. So center of palm to be placed on the center of the head. Rotate the palm clockwise so that automatically the scalp will also move clockwise. And now we have to say this affirmation in our heart. O Divine Mother, please give me my self-realization. Shri Mataji, please give me my self-realization. O Divine Mother, please give me my self-realization. From our heart, we have to ask today, the Mother Kundalini is waiting to be awakened and to bless the person, to bless the seeker. The only thing required is pure desire from the seeker's side. So if we are wanting, if we are a true seeker and we wish to receive this from our heart, we have to say, O Divine Mother, O Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. O Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. हे परमात्मा, कृपया करके मुझे मेरा आत्म साक्षात्कार दे दीजिए. One last time we will say from our heart, O Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. Please make me experience the love of the divine power. Please make me experience peace and joy. Please give me my self-realization. We will keep our right hand now on the lap. Now both the hands, left hand and right hand, will be placed on the lap. And we'll sit like this for a few seconds. We'll keep the eyes closed and sit like this for a few seconds. All right, so slowly, we are going to open our eyes. we will open our eyes and we are going to just check our palms, the palms which are placed on the lap. On both the palms, we will just see, are we able to experience any kind of breeze flowing from our palms? It could be a cool breeze, it could be a warm breeze. If by chance it is warm, so that means we have still not forgiven everyone. So just try to see if it is cool, warm. It could also be some sort of tingling sensation on your palms. Also try to see, are you able to feel peaceful? So 1 hour back when we started the session, at that time, the number of thoughts that were coming, and right now the kind number of thoughts that are there, has there been a reduction in the number of thoughts? Are we feeling more at peace within ourselves? We will also do a quick check on top of our heads. So we will take our left hand on top of our head. We will keep it 1 or 2 inches on top of our head. And this time we will not keep it directly on the head, just 1 or 2 left hand palm, 1 or 2 inches above the head, not on the head, above the head, 1 or 2 inches above the head. And try to check, are we able to see any cool or warm breeze? Are we able to feel any cool or warm breeze flowing from the head coming towards the palms? Thank you so much, Dr. Ramya. Okay, we will now check it with the right hand again. Now the same exercise, the same check we will do with the right hand. So we will keep our right hand 1 or 2 inches above the head. And we are just going to see, are we able to experience any kind of cool or warm breeze coming towards our palms, or some sort of a tingling sensation on our palms or on top of the head? It may not even be cool or warm, but some sort of breeze. You could just feel some breeze. All right. So we'll get both the hands back on the lap. So one of the first things that comes to us, to our brain, is that why was it? We'll request the participants to please write on the chat whether they felt it as a cool or a warm breeze. Or by chance, if there was someone who was not able to experience, they can also write. We can tell them why it was so. So one of the things is, thank you, Neetu ma'am. So we are getting few responses. And okay, all right. So I'm going to answer why it was warm. All right. So the first thing that we should like, the first thing is, many times we have this question: why is it cool? Why is it warm? The reason is that once this Kundalini gets awakened, both the things mean one thing only, that this Kundalini has got awakened. This mother Kundalini, this divine power inside us, which was the 3.5, which is the 3.5 coils in the sacrum bone. Now, few threads have got awakened. And that is why we are able to feel this either in the form of a cool breeze or warm breeze. So that means now this peace that we are able to feel within, automatically you can see there is some sort of peace that you're feeling within. And so why did this happen? Because this mother Kundalini got awakened, and it is the curing of our subtle energy centers has started now. So one of the reasons why it is warm is because when we are not able to completely forgive someone, then we experience it in the form of a warm breeze also. And sometimes what happens is, we can forgive everyone, but there may be just 1 or 2 people which we are not able to forgive. So the moment we forgive that one person, or those 1 or 2 people, automatically you will see this warm will change to cool. Automatic, it's a spontaneous happening. But whether cool or warm, both is excellent. Both means the Kundalini has got awakened. And even, so the thing that now what should we do on a regular basis? Because what happens is when we sow a seed into the Mother Earth, the job does not get over there. One has to keep watering that particular piece of land, and it needs sunlight, water. Only then that seed turns out to be into a beautiful plant. In the same way, today, the process of self-realization, which we did just now, was the first step and the main step. And so this was the first step. So this is like sowing of the seed, the example which we just now took. So the first thing has happened is the self-realization procedure. But on everyday basis, we need not do these 3 steps. Yes, if someone is willing, they can do, but otherwise it's not required. These 3 steps are now not required. That was the main thing. Now, once this Kundalini has got awakened, now how do we do it on a regular basis is what we are going to see now. I mean, what we can do at home. And we just got one question here. This question that how frequently we should be doing it. All right. So the procedure which we are going to learn now in the next 5 to 10 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. We're going to learn this in the next 5 minutes. So this is the left channel clearance and the right channel clearance. That is what we are going to learn. And now this left channel and right channel clearance, we just need to do it any time during the day. Whenever we find time during the day, we should just sit and do that for the, left channel and right channel clearance. We can do it for maximum 5 to 10 minutes. So that much time is sufficient enough for the left channel and the right channel clearance. And preferably, if we can do it in the morning once we get up in the morning, once at that time, and once before we go to sleep. So twice a day, if we can do, that will be excellent. So if we can do it in the morning, especially if we can get up between 4 o'clock, between 4 to 6 a.m., because that is normally called as the Brahma Muhurat time. That's also when the birds start chirping. They have no idea of time and clock, but they have this magnetic force within them, which guides them. So automatically we see the birds start chirping automatically at 4 o'clock. So between 4 to 6, if we can do this, it's the best. But if not possible, we can do it at any time of the day. Absolutely no problem. So we will now move towards the left channel and the right channel. Okay, yeah. So we are getting this question that, ma'am, is it a remedy for migraine headache? Of course, it is. It is the ultimate remedy. I mean, I will suggest that. It's not only suggest. I mean, I will say that once you start doing this left channel clearance, right channel clearance, and there's also a foot soaking technique, which is very, very powerful. I'm not sure if you'll be able to complete the foot soaking technique today because of the time limitation. But of course, if there's any further sessions, or we'll give you the link to join the future sessions that we keep having on that are conducted on regular basis. So once you start doing, you will see the difference from day one. I mean, today also, if you do, you will see the difference. Within a week's time, you will say that you've stopped taking any medicines that you used to take for migraine. Automatically, you will say your migraine has completely got cured. So this is the ultimate thing that you could, ultimate remedy for the migraine. And not only for migraine. In fact, medical science today says it has been proven by the medical science that all types of problems can be cured completely only through Sahaja Yoga, can be cured from the roots only through Sahaja Yoga. So it's they verified, they've conducted so many experiments on patients, they've conducted so many experiments otherwise on various aspects, and now they've come up with this. And that is why now even scientists of Russia have termed this as meta science, which means that where normal science ends, that is where Sahaja Yoga science begins. So, but the thing is that we have to ourselves experience it. We should not have blind faith on anything. In the same way, we should ourselves experience it, and then when we have our miracle, I mean, automatically, then you will come up with your miracle stories automatically. So in case if there is time, then if we can do the balancing technique. Chandrakant sir, you are there? If we should do the balancing technique. I think if we have more time, then we'll go. Yeah, so we'll go towards the balancing technique.
Madam, already time of
Madam,
up to 4 only.
Advi madam.
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Yes, sir.
This is Anil Kumar. But actually, the session closing going to be closed at 4 o'clock only, madam. So we'll for the next time we are going to be organized this in a longer session, madam.
Sure, sir. Sure. Definitely, sir.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Sure, sir. All right. So, so what we are going to, we'll now wrap up with this session, and we will post a link on your chat. And once the link, we just now post this link on your chat, and the moment you fill this link, it's a Google form link. The moment you fill your details, you will receive an automated email, and through that automated email you are going to receive everything that we did today, the self-realization procedure. Also, you will get the clearance techniques on how to do it on a regular basis at home, and the foot soaking technique. And of course, you can join the regular sessions which happen on a regular basis, which happen every Sunday also. Every Sunday they take place, and other days also. So you can join those sessions, and they are there in different languages. We have sessions in, of course, English, Hindi is there. Then we have it in various other languages also. And so you're free to join them. And one thing also more that it's important is that, just like we cannot pay for the sunlight, and it's the natural gift of the divine power, in the same way we cannot pay for self-realization. That is why Sahaja Yoga is completely free of cost all over the world, because this is a natural spontaneous technique which is a gift of the divine power, and we just cannot pay for it. So you go to any city, any country of this world, you will find a free Sahaja Yoga center. You attend any sessions, online, offline, they're always going to be free of cost, because one cannot pay for this. It is your own inbuilt divine power. So with that, we thank the entire college management team who's behind this session. And we are indeed grateful to the college for this session that we are taking, that for this session today. And we'll request, please don't let it go waste, just because I believe everyone here is from the science background. So just as pure scientists, they take something as a hypothesis, and once the result comes out, and then only they, then they know what it really is. In the same way, just as pure scientists, you just start doing it as an experiment. And once you see results in your life, you will automatically, feel, why I did not know about it before. So I'll now hand over to Chandrakant sir.
So thank you very much, ma'am. Today there is some internet problem and some noise at my end, so I could not able to join the session. But I think Advocate Aditi ma'am has taken it properly. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Chandrakant sir and Aditi madam, for your immediate response. Though we are not able to give you, we are not able to connect you earlier. Though you worked for as a need basis, this is very useful to all of us. As all of you know that now science has reached cognitive science. So metaphysics and meta science is not different from the regular Newtonian physics right now. Already it approaching cognitive science, where all these systems are playing a key role. Neural networks are playing a key role. At the same time, coming to the other end, bio-inspired algorithms, which are providing a lot of optimization in our regular systems. So if we see all these things, metaphysics and the normal particle science is not different. Some point of time they have to converge. Now this is the right time in the universe. Both are converging. Whatever happens in the science domain, ultimate job of any human being is knowing thyself. So first we have to know what we are. Entire computational power is coming from us only. Though one machine is working at picoseconds of the speed, that is made by us only. So that capability is from human being only. Everybody has to realize ourselves and our capabilities. Those are all machines which are working by, which are designed and manufactured by us. So that power we have to realize. Because of a lot of stress in our lives, a lot of stress existing in our life, we are not able to practice what we are. So this is the right time, as Madam mentioned, we need not sit for days long together like earlier yogis. By performing our day-to-day regular life, we can have the opportunity to know ourselves. So we are all the we are all the children of our yogis, rishis. So already they proved what they are. They were given lot of signs to us. They are already realized. They were kept a lot of signs for us. So it is our responsibility to take the same to our children, next generations. I hope everyone can take the responsibility, not only in your earnings, not only in your all those things. You have to earn some tapas, you have to earn some gnana on knowing yourself. I wish this session is much more useful to all of us. Thank you one and all. And at the same time, sorry for the inconvenience. We could not able to meet the resource persons. Even we don't know what happened to him also. That morning 11 o'clock also he responded. So we will see what happened to him. Atiti madam, thank you. Thank you so much, madam. You are saved a lot of time for more than 100 people in giving a good lecture and giving a good knowledge. Thank you, madam. From our side, as a token of request, we are awarding a small digital memento, madam. Please accept.
We thank you, ma'am. We are indeed, we thank you, ma'am, for this session. Yes.
Madam, could you please
Thank
take your picture? I am not having your picture.
all right, ma'am. All right. And we thank you for this digital momentum, which you just, thank you so much.
I will post to your mail ID. Please, in WhatsApp, I am having your connection. Please send me your mail ID. I will send to your mail, ma'am.
All right, ma'am. All right.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. On behalf of all the participants, we are very thankful to you, madam. You have delivered a good knowledge and experience for all of us. And on behalf of Atal as well as on behalf of Vignan, we are very thankful to you, ma'am.
No, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. On the video, we will have one photograph with Chandrakant sir as well as Ajiti ma'am. So again, tomorrow session, day 3 session start at 10 o'clock. First session is auto encoders by Saroj Mehar, ISI Bangalore. And the second session, 12 to 1:30 p.m. Semantic multinomial representation for scene classification by Dr. A.D. Dilip, Associate Professor, IIT Mandi. And the third session, 2:30 to 4 p.m., mathematical morphology for image analysis, Dr. B.S. Dayasagar, ISI Bangalore. So tomorrow we will meet again at 10 o'clock. So thank you all. Have a nice time. Have a nice day. So now we will close the session at this point. If you are having any doubts, you can express. Otherwise, we will close the meeting. So anybody is having any doubts, you can express within 2 to 3 minutes. After that, the session will be closed. Attendance forms and send back to us. I hope everybody gone through your attendance sheet today. Again, you are going to receive the attendance sheet after updation of the today's attendance. Please go through that. Any discrepancies, immediately please bring into our notes. Okay. So, anybody is having any doubts, you can express. Otherwise, we will close the meeting here. Okay, thank you. We'll close the meeting for today. Tomorrow we will meet at 10 p.m. sharply. Have a nice day. Bye bye.